could we just touch on the Andy Ackers injury first of all, and just give us an idea as how much of a blow that is to the group?
Yeah, look, it's disappointing for Andy. He had a good pre-season. No one likes to be out of the team for that long. But then, the flip side of it is it gives Jared an opportunity now. Like he wants to be a hooker, and this is his opportunity. With not a lot of pressure on him either, really, because he's not fighting for a spot. He's got that spot now to try and make it his own. And then when Andy's back, we'll worry about that then. But so it just provides an opportunity for Jared, mate.
How's Andy taking the news?
He's disappointed, but straight away, he said, once he got the diagnosis, his first thing was he reached out to me and he just wanted to let me know that he'll do everything possible to get back as quick as he can, and he's committed to the whole season. So that was a good positive response from a bloke that's pretty professional.
So are you looking for sort of 80 minutes now from Jared, or will he back up off the bench?
Well, I still got Cindy on the bench, and I thought he'd done a reasonable job for us last week when he come on, that second half. So he's still learning the role, and it's good for Cindy and his development, being able to play a couple of different positions. Having him on the bench gives us, if something was to happen in the back line, he can go into the halves and we can move guys around. So it gives us a bit of flexibility.
And for the first time this week, I think you've got the opportunity to field your 1, 6 and 7 for the first time. Does that feel a bit of a luxury given where you've been at times this year?
Yeah, it's good. It'll be our 6 combination, spine combination. And that's probably the bit where we just need to get a little bit more cohesion. I thought our forwards have been doing really well, laying a good platform. They did it the same again for us last week, laid an incredible platform and gave us good field position to play off. We just come up with a couple of errors at the wrong time. We didn't come up with a lot of errors. It was just when we made them and how we made them. We had some good ball opportunities and just didn't quite get the execution right on them. So it's not a lot of what we're doing. It's how we're doing it. Because I feel like the effort's been really good. The physicality's been really good. The buy-in is very good. Principally, I think we're being good. It's just some of the process of what we're doing and how we're doing things rather than what we're doing. When we can get on top of that execution and just those combinations, we'll look a little bit better.
And if you do go down the route of 1-6, fielding the 1, 6 and 7, it obviously would, put a question over where Jake Connor plays. If indeed you do find a place for him in that 17, would you look to put him in elsewhere?
Fishing pretty hard there, James, aren't you? For an answer. I've got a few combinations there that we've got, and look, it is good to have all those guys available, because what it does, it puts pressure on all of them to do their job. Not be their best players, but just to do their job really well and own that control of the team, and that communication where we've been down a little bit. So and having Lockie there certainly helped, and I feel like you could see the difference Lockie made to us last week, and he's just a threat, and he takes pressure off other guys when they got the ball.
How did he pull up after that game?
Yeah, look, I hadn't planned on playing him 80 minutes, so I ran the gauntlet a little bit, but we were forced into that at the with Ackers' injury. But he's pulled up really well, and look, he's got 2 sessions out this week, so they're not excuses, they're just reasons why a few think we've been a bit down on cohesion. Like, he's done his 3rd session with this team, he hasn't trained with us since August. He done 1 session last week, and he's done he's done 2 sessions this week. So it's just some new combinations there, but we need to improve those combinations quickly.
Just give me a few words on Ryan Hall. He'll make his 500th career appearance.
Yeah. Mate,
how big an achievement is that in this day and age?
It's massive. I'm in awe of him. Didn't know a lot about him. I was not skeptical, but wasn't quite sure when they said that he was here for this season. Like a bloke of his age, 37. What is his attitude and mentality going to be around training? And he's been an ultimate professional, and he's trained like a 27-year-old, not a 37-year-old. He's been really diligent, didn't miss anything throughout the pre-season. Told me, like that fitness wasn't one of the strengths of his training, but, I think he undersold himself a little bit there because his effort was, was outstanding. I don't expect those big power athlete wingers to, to be at the front in the conditioning, but he was in the front for attitude and effort around it. And there was opportunities where, I was happy to let him have not a session off, but rest his body and look after him. But he never took any of those opportunities, and the fact then it just shows you why he's been able to play 500 games. So I just hope, and I know that this team how much they value him and appreciate him. I just hope they can show that with how they want to play for him tomorrow night.
When you say you were slightly sceptical, was that just around his age?
Well, not sceptical. You just, like 37, it doesn't happen a lot in our game. Guys are still playing at 37 and, what's their motives? Are they just going through the motions? And, I didn't want to preconceive anything, but I just wasn't sure. I didn't know him. But he's been a credit, mate. And there's a reason why he's still playing well and been probably our most consistent and one of our best players every week at 37.
Just lastly from me, what do you think you'll get from Wigan?
Well, how professional are they? They're a good, strong outfit. They'd be disappointed in what happened to them last week, so they're going to be fired up. They're going to be coming hard. But even regardless of what happened last week, that's just how they come to every game. So we're prepared for the best version of Wigan, which I think every team and every week you have to.
Obviously, you've just mentioned Andy Ackers. That's a hamstring. You've had quite a few hamstrings this season. Is that a concern? I know there've been different circumstances. Some have been in training, and obviously Ackers was in the matches. But is it a worry the number of similar injuries you've had?
Well, look, a lot of those hamstrings were to young guys that probably hadn't had the training load, and they were done like at the end of last season, so like the Ackers is really the only one that we've had this year, throughout in a game. The rest of them were on the back of injuries from last year, and then like haven't recovered properly and just giving them a bit of time. So most of those hamstring issues either been our young guys just looking to build up their load, and residual from the back end of last season. But Ackers, definitely his was this year in the game.
Yeah. How are the young lads getting on, Simpson and the McCormacks? Are they and Littlewood as well? They're making progress.
Yeah, they are, and we're just we've been really cautious and taking it slowly with them, because it'd be nice to have them available and for training and it'd help what we're doing right now, but we're also got to put their careers at the forefront as well, and just taking a bit of time and making sure that they're nice and strong. But like Fergus has been back in doing a bits and pieces of team training. Max is real close, so we're just we're just taking it really cautious with them.
How's Cam getting on? He's a month in now. Is he progressing as you'd hope?
He's still in the boot, but he's confident. He said he feels okay. So hopefully within 4 to 6 weeks he can be out on the field playing for us soon.
Yeah, and just on this week, how's the response been to last week's game? Obviously, everyone was bitterly disappointed to be knocked out of the cup, but eggs in one basket now.
Yep, disappointed is a good word. Look, frustrated, because they're putting in so much effort, and there's just a couple of bits and pieces here and there, or some moments in the game that we're getting wrong, and we've got to get better at. Which is when you play the really good teams, which Saints are. They make you pay for it. So, but the response has been really good. Like the buy-in, like I said before, the effort and physicality, all those things that they're in total control of, they've been really good. Now we just need to get a few of our processes in a bit better order and cohesion and combinations for us to take the next step. But response to training has been great, and excited that we can be part of such a big day tomorrow, for Hawley.
And in I think 3 games this season, you've sort of conceded 3 quick fire tries in sort of 10 minutes against Wakefield and last week, obviously, and the Cast game as well. Do you think that's a concentration issue?
Yeah, it is.
Or?
No, it is. It's definite concentration, because it's not fatigue. And the boys are aware of it and they're talking about it, but we've got to stop talking about it and do something about it, because you're right, like we're playing really good for long periods of the game, but then we played really poorly where we lack concentration for a period of the game. And it's a small window, but it's a window that's been where all the points have been conceded against us.
Yeah, as you mentioned, you've had a couple of disappointing results. It doesn't take long for optimism to fade on the terraces. Does belief remain intact in the camp?
Yeah, definitely. Because the things that we want to be, that we're in control of and we want to work hard at, I think we've been really good. Like defensively, last week we were really good in conceding meters. If you look throughout the competition, we're in the top couple of stats for nearly every measure of the game, especially around defence. But we need to start turning that into wins. And like Pete just touched on, there's a small window of concentration where the points have been put on us. So we haven't we know that we just got to keep working hard and minimise those windows. Because you can't be perfect and spot on for 80 minutes. But like when you're not good, the better teams make sure that it doesn't cost them.
Yeah, it's like these days. Everything's dramatic.
Yeah.
What's your message to fans that may already be fearing another season for the club where they're on the periphery?
Oh well, mate, I didn't know that that's how they're feeling. But if that's how they're feeling, they just got to keep watching their team's effort and the physicality, and that's there, and their game will get better as we go. We're into round 5. There's still plenty of want and desire. It's a long season, and we just need them to stick with us.
Obviously, in Wigan, I guess they're the benchmark that everyone wants to get to. How far off do you sort of see yourselves as, and how long do you think it'll be before Leeds are back challenging it at that top level?
Well, look, we need to get to being able to do what we're doing really well for 80 minutes. When we can get to doing that for 80 minutes, then we can focus on doing that the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth week in a row. So we've got to really nail down a performance of 80 minutes. And like, you're not going to be at your best for 80 minutes, but there's things that we've been good at that we want to continue to be good at, but we just got to do them for those longer periods. And when it gets tough and, there's a bit of momentum against us, it's how we stop that. And as soon as we get on top of that and learn that, and we're doing that for 2, 3, 4 weeks in a row, then we can worry about where we rate ourselves compared to Wigan.
Is that what it is, the consistency alongside that quality?
It's just that concentration for a full 80 minutes, because we lose concentration for only a small margin of time, and points are getting conceded in that period.
Can I just bring it back to Hawley? Obviously, it got his big game tomorrow. He was saying earlier in the week that he'd be keen to possibly stay on for another year beyond this one. Do you imagine he could still be a good first team player, this time next year?
Definitely. Like I said, he's been professional, looks after his body well. There's a reason why he's still playing at 37. And I'm sure, and it's more down to himself and his management of his game and his body. So whatever he keeps doing that, he probably play to his 40 if he wanted to.